2. KD out for this one, might be out for a while. Warriors trailed by as many as 17 in this, but Kevon Looney's dunk with 53 seconds left puts them up 1. 15 seconds to go, same score. Steph Curry to Draymond Green, and the Warriors go up 3. Big night for Green. Last chance for Portland. Dame Lillard, stripped by Andre Iguodala. Lillard wanted the foul, no call there. Warriors pull out the win, 114-111. They now go up 2-0 in the series. Steph dropping 37 in this one. Here's Steve Kerr after the win.
We stole that game. I thought they outplayed us for much of the night, the majority of the night. But, you know, we brought enough competitive fire in the second half to overcome, you know, their great play.
I mean, they stole it, but they earned it down the stretch. They made more plays than us in, you know, the last 2 minutes, last 3 minutes. But, I mean, I like our chances going forward. I like the way we came out and competed. You know, we got to bring that same energy at home.
All right, Broussard, did the Warriors win this game or did the Blazers lose it?
I think the Warriors won. I really do. Whether it's cockiness, the complacency that's dogged them all year, or pacing themselves because they know KD is not there, I just felt like the Warriors weren't worried when they were down. Now, Kerr was concerned, but they weren't worried when they were down. And then when they needed to, twice, they turned it on. In the third quarter, in 4 minutes, they turned a 15-point deficit into a 1-point lead. And they did it with defense. Their defense got so much more aggressive, and they stopped Portland from getting offensive rebounds. They gave up 8 offensive rebounds to Portland in the first half, 2 in the second half, because they just wanted to. Kerr said his biggest problem with the first half was that they didn't play hard enough, and they didn't. It wasn't no strategic adjustments. It was like, look, let's get after it. They got after it in the third quarter, took the lead, let their foot off the gas a little bit. Then late in the game, they did the same thing. They turned it on. Now, we can sit here and say, well, Portland made some mistakes. Defensively, they made some errors. They lost track of Steph or Clay or whatever. But that's the problem when you play Golden State.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Right. You have to play 48 minutes of error-free basketball for the most part defensively. And as much as they move around, as much as you have to extend your defense 30 feet, you're going to make mistakes here or there. They made a few. Golden State took advantage. So I just think they turned it on when they needed to.
Yeah, I thought Golden State won the game. Golden State made some serious adjustments at halftime after an embarrassing first half. And that press in the second half, that trapping, forcing turnovers, and forcing Portland, they were starting their offense 35 to 40 feet away. You can't be a threat when they're trapping Damian Lillard and he's throwing the ball sideways and you don't put the ball into a playmaker's hand. So from a strategy standpoint, Steve Kerr at halftime putting the press on, that ignited them, that got them started on the fast break where they started getting some easier looks. I like the way Portland approached the game, though. They made some strategic adjustments. They played a better game in game number 2, but you got to give it to the champions. I always lean towards, because I tell people, if I drop a pass, it's not because I was nervous. It's not because I was a situation. I just dropped it. Either I wasn't concentrating, the ball was coming, it was a little bit difficult, but I dropped it. Most guys, when they miss shots, it's not as if they were thinking about missing that shot. It's just that they missed an open shot. Man, in the second half, Portland, their offense looked totally different. The Warriors, their overall ability to be aggressive and take the fight to Portland, they snatched this victory away from the Portland Trailblazers.
Listen, I want to give the Warriors immense credit. Steph was sensational. Draymond might have been even better, given everything he did, just the way pushing the pace, running the court. There was a moment when the Blazers took, I think, an 8-point lead midway through the fourth quarter. It was 108-100, and we'll get back to that moment later. Draymond beats everyone down the court and gets a layup to all of a sudden offset the Myers-Leonard 3 and getting a layup of his own. The Warriors were great in that third quarter in particular. That is where to me, that's where the Warriors put themselves in position for, in my eyes, to win the game. But then the Blazers not only weathered the storm, they did build an 8-point lead with 4.5 minutes left. And from that moment forward, they made one shot. From that moment forward, Draymond took over the game. CJ was 0 for 5. Dame couldn't do anything. He missed one shot and then got the ball stolen from him. That was a tough one for Dame because Iggy was trying to foul because they were up 3. They wanted to foul there. Didn't get the foul, ended up getting the steal despite it. It's tough for me. This is the biggest game for any of these players on the Blazers ever, except for, I guess, Rodney Hood, who's played in the finals, and the biggest game in the franchise since, you remember the Kobe to Shaq lob?
Yep.
This is the biggest game for the Blazers.
15 going into the fourth quarter.
This is the biggest game the franchise has had since that moment. That was the year 2000. You're up 8 with 4.5 minutes left with a chance to steal the game, to steal home court, I should say. We're going to see in these series a team steal a game. I feel like Milwaukee kind of stole one from Toronto. Now we've had Golden State steal one from Portland. It's tough when the team that's the heavy favorite, the better team, is the one that steals a game they should have lost. That, to me, is what happened last night in Oracle.
But I think a lot of that, again, my opinion is that Golden State, we've seen it all year. When they get complacent, they turn it on when they need to. Kerr's complained about it. He mentioned in his quote, we just saw competitive fire. That's what they brought in bunches. And I think late when they got down 8, I don't think Portland just missed the shots. I think it was the defensive intensity that made them miss
on some of them. But CJ had 2 that were wide open.
CJ didn't have a great night, obviously. And that's one of the things Portland's got to look at going forward. Even in the previous series, CJ and Lillard have rarely had their big nights together. They're going to both have to have big nights to beat.
And when you're going against a backcourt of Steph and Clay, this team can't afford to have one have a good game and one not. They both need to have a game. And even then, you're still going up against this monster of a backcourt in Golden State. All right, Chris, stick around. Coming up, can the Raptors claw back into the series against the Bucks? That's next on First Things First.
See what you did there, Jenna. Claw.